You join me then in my Peugeot 306 and we have some electrical issues. Life is never dull when you own old French cars. Let's see if we can get us started then. Don't know why I'm saying let's see, because I know what's going to happen. Nothing. She's completely dead. I have noticed some slight electrical issues over recent days when it was running fine and I flashed the flasher lights or used the high beam. It would put a little warning light on in the middle of the dashboard and the radio would go off and then come back on a moment later and it would drive fine. So there are some little niggly electrical gremlins. It could be dodgy earth, it could be a dodgy battery, who knows, but better use the Volvo over there to get it jump started. Okay, then the two cars are now joined up, so let's see if this works. I've never actually jumped anything from the Volvo. So we got the red positive to red positive and black negative to earthing point. So hopefully this does the job. Now there's very, very little space on that side for me to actually climb in, so I'm going to do it around this side, on the passenger side, and see if this works at all. We have lights, good stuff. Need to put in our little code here, which I'm not going to show you. There we go. Let's see. Oh, she's very dead. Very dead. Okay, we'll leave it a few minutes then to gather a bit of charge. I must also apologise for the dreadful audio quality on the last couple of videos. I did invest in a microphone. I shoot all of my videos on an iPhone 13. So I thought, yeah, audio doesn't sound great, better get microphones. Don't buy Larkbird because they are dreadful. It was only cheap, but it makes it sound like a mid-2000s mobile phone call. So yeah, avoid these at all costs. Let's see then if we can get this running. Let's try her again. Oh, she's very dead. That is worrying. That's very, very worrying. That does nothing at all. Oh dear, not good. So the jump starting didn't work, frustratingly, but it did make me think of this little connection here. Now, when me and my mate John were fiddling with the Clio a couple of weeks back, we decided to disconnect this battery and pop it in the Clio to see if that would solve anything. It didn't, but as my mate John was fastening that back up, that's what that one looks like, as he was fastening it back up, it snapped. And here is the remnants that obviously, as you can see, would have just gone around on there. A bit hard to do it there with just one hand. And as I have a little look at it there, you can see there's a bit of a gap between the electrode, or whatever you call that, and this little connection here. If you kind of squeeze it back together, that looks a bit better. So I wonder, maybe that's our problem. Well, that already is a good sign. I flicked the ignition, put in my little immobilizer code, and we've got light, so let's try it. Ah, there we go. There we go. So it wasn't a flat battery, it was a dodgy battery connection. So John, I'm sure you'll be watching. That is what caused the problem. Or, well, the lack of that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to connect that battery up good and proper. But finally, anyway, the electrical issues have been solved. Well, I say that's all of our electrical issues fixed. It actually isn't, because let me show you the indicators. So the front works fine in that slightly foggy unit. Our side lights work absolutely fine, but this is where things get a little funkier, because we've got disco lights. Can you see that? We actually have the indicator flashing there intermittently with the headlights, not the rear lights. So that's not perfect. Not great. So hopefully just a dodgy earth. Let me knock those off there. Oh, and I've noticed as well, sometimes when I apply my foot on the brake pedal, the indicator light speeds up. So yeah, I just think it's a dodgy connection or dodgy earth somewhere. But anyway, let's knock it all off. I'm now back in the Volvo, which continues to be the most reliable, comfortable, wonderful, excellent, brilliant car there ever has been. And of course, it didn't need a jump start at the end of the Peugeot, so that's no fault of the Volvo that it didn't quite crack the issue. So I'm just going to literally just park this thing back where it lives. But it does give me a chance to give you a slight update on the Volvo. So I've owned it just over a year now at this stage, and apart from a couple of little niggly issues with the brakes, and I've had to get it serviced, obviously, and I had to get the belts done. Apart from that, though, it's been absolutely fine. Touch the fake wood for luck. But it is making some noises. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear them now. Let me try. Creaky noises coming from the steering, and there's rattles and knocks from the suspension, which isn't great. So I'm thinking bushes, probably. It's a heavy car, it's probably well over a ton. But, with all the leather and the big engine and all that kind of stuff. So I have read on internet forums that the bushes on these things do suffer because of all that. So that's a job that's going to need doing at some stage. But yeah, for now, it is proving to be a lovely long distance reliable cruiser. And I have no plans to get rid of it. I think this one's definitely a keeper. And it's staying on the fleet for the foreseeable future. But anyway, I better get back to the Peugeot. I'm just delighted that I've managed to diagnose the electrical issue, and I better get that little, well, here it is here actually, that little connection thingy. Better get a new one of those for the battery, or I'm going to drive the Peugeot somewhere and get stuck, which would be completely my fault, of course.